getting ready for a restart after a round of pit stops has really mixed up the running order.
Boy, it really has. You see Jimmy Johnson fell off the pace, fell back a little bit. Guys, I tell you one thing, it's making me really nervous for guys that are purposely dropping to the back, because right now, Ray, it looks like they're really barely able to hold on.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough time coming back up through there. You're really taking a chance on something happening.
And did Carl Edwards really stay out, or was that a mess up? I can't believe that's strategy.
Green flag, Jimmy Johnson will lap down to the inside of the leaders, Doc.
And Alan, we're being told now the 7 lost the free pass for putting fuel in twice. And by the way, you Bobby Labonte fans, he was caught for too fast exiting pit road. And you Kenny Wallace fans, he was held a lap. The 00 was clocked at over 100 miles an hour coming down pit road. NASCAR took a dim view of that and held him there for one whole lap.
Yeah, I don't know why he would be going that fast down pit road. It'd be interesting to hear Kenny's explanation, but we got some racing going on up front. See Jeff Burton trying to make a move to the inside. He'd like to lead a lap.
5 bonus points to lead. Now, it only counts if you can hold on until they get back to the start-finish line.
That's a long way from turn 4. Yeah, there's times you think you've got that with no problem, but it's a long way. These guys can make a run back on the outside, but he's got a fast car and Jimmy Johnson pushing him. Burton will lead this lap. Dale Jr. is actually in second. That's Jimmy Johnson, who's a lap down just behind Jeff Burton.
So Burton becomes the 8th different driver to lead at Talladega. Back in the spring, there were 52 lead changes here among 20 different drivers. That's why the fans love coming here so much, and we love being a part of it.
Just shows you how quickly it happens. Going down the backstretch, just last lap, Jeff Gordon was leading this race, and all of a sudden he's back there in the middle of a hornet's nest at about 8th or 9th, whatever you can pick out from there.
Jimmy Johnson is now on the tail end of the lead lap, right in front of the leaders, are trying to hang there. Looks like Dale Earnhardt Jr. would like to get by, but they got to be worried about that 17 car on the high side. Matt Kenseth's going to go by.
And you have to wonder how much does Junior really want this 48 car on the lead lap. If he's going to have to race him, he's the guy that you'll have to race for this win.
Yeah, not only for this win, but for a championship too. And you know if you can keep him a lap down. So, yeah, they might be teammates, but there's also, you got individual things in your team to look out for.
We asked Junior about his talented teammates.
It's been neat to be in that group and being a part of it. I've been having a good time, and they've been treating me really good. We raced really hard with each other, and we've got a lot of respect for each other. I've got a year under my belt working with them, and I feel like they still respect me as much as they did when I first got there. So I guess that's a good thing.
Respect and appreciation, but right now it looks like Jimmy Johnson has gone to the high side and left the front of the 88 car to move up in front of the Toyota of Vickers.
Got Matt Kenseth down on the inside. Kurt Busch and the 2 car. Shannon?
Well, these are 2 guys that really have nothing to lose. Kurt Busch not in the chase, just going for a win. And of course, Kyle Busch, I spoke with his crew chief, Steve Addington, who told me there are 11 guys in this chase coming into this race who are concerned about this race. We're just out here and we have nothing to lose. We can go for broke, and that's what they're doing here today.
Little Busch pushing Busch here. Brothers working together a little bit. Dodge and Toyota. Remember, it was Kyle Busch who won here back in April, also won the plate race at Daytona in July. And what about what we saw happen with the 99 a moment ago, where he stayed on the racetrack when everyone else pitted, then came back in? Mike?
Let's talk to the guy who made the call, Bob Osborne. Can you explain that pit strategy?
Well, we got 5 points earlier in the run there, so we were just playing it safe, waited an extra lap to not be in the melee of pit road for the first time, and planning on just riding around in the back for a while, so it was no big deal to come second time by.
Well, guys, you win championships by being innovative, and that's certainly a new one here at Talladega.
Carl Edwards talked about the fact that he's never had a lot of luck here, and he was going to go talk to some people, including Dale Jarrett and a few others, about how do you win here? Because you have such a good record here. Did you give him some advice?
Well, yeah, there's different ways of going about this, and you have someone like Carl Edwards. I mean, we know that as a race driver, he wants to go wide open all the time. And that's the strategy with most of these guys. But sometimes you're just trying to get the best finish that you possibly can. And if you gave these guys the option to get out of Talladega with a top 10 versus going up there all day and racing and taking a big chance that they might crash, then I think they're going to take that top 10. And this might be a strategy that he's playing on, especially when he knows his closest competitor, or actually the guy leading the points, is a lap down at this point in time. He's on the tail end of the lead lap.
It's looking like it's going to work for Carl Edwards because he's able to hold on to these guys. Jimmy Johnson, early in the race, not so much. I mean, he was not able to hold on to that lead draft.
The thing with these cars, you really have to pay attention to what you're doing, because you lose it just a little bit, you can't catch back up. So you really have to be on your toes and make sure that you don't just jump out of the gas or anything like that, because it takes so much longer for it to catch back up.
Talking about the differing philosophies of staying out of the big one, either be up front or get far and far in the back. And I guess Jimmy got so far in the back, he's up front again.
And just watching this 99 this last time by, you can see they're starting to catch back up now, but they had almost lost touch with the tail end of that field. But he's got some company back there to help him.
What about Tony Stewart, who has never won here at Talladega? Jamie.
Yeah, he's finished second 6 times, Doc. You know, before that last pit stop, he worked his way from the back to the front, but then they came in, took 4 tires, and they realized the tape was coming off the grill. They had to come back in, fix that tape, and he slipped back to 35th off that start, but he's already worked his way up. He's about 29th right now, but DJ Andy, maybe you guys can explain how much that tape impacts a car at this track.
Well, that tape's everything. You know, the drag, you put all that air inside the front of the car, it makes it, makes a lot more drag, makes it a lot harder to run fast. So they made a good move there by putting that tape back on early.
Casey Mears up front. He was the highest finishing Hendrick car here in April. And now caution being shown for the second time today. Debris on the tri-oval area. That should give Jimmy Johnson the free pass and let him go back around now and get back on the lead lap.
Well, no, that's a sigh of relief there for this team.
I bet you he doesn't lose the draft this time.
I bet he doesn't. I bet he doesn't hang at the back as far. Be a little more aggressive.
I watched Chad Knaus on the pit box. Said they needed some help, and obviously he's looking for it.
He saw it. He saw something. There's debris right there, boys. Yeah, these guys.
Think they got a vested interest in that happening?
Yeah, and I'm sure that NASCAR checked it out with a few other people before they believed Chad Knaus there, since they were the ones needing that. But obviously, there it is.
Yeah, there it is on the racetrack. He has great eyes.
When you need a caution, you'll be scanning that racetrack pretty good.
Caution for the second time today, and Jimmy Johnson will indeed get back on the lead lap. If you just joined our coverage, the reigning and 2-time Cup champion dropped to the back of the field and lost the draft, and then the leaders ran him down, and he got a lap down. So he will now get the free pass back, and that will put now 40 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, got a couple of guys up here in front. Casey Mears has made his way to the front with Elliott Sadler in second. Kyle Busch, who we haven't been able to talk about in the last few weeks other than problems happening, has made his way up to third. Of course, he won the first race here this year.
Well, what do you do, crew chief? Do they come now, or do you stay out there and hold on to that track position?
Well, you'll key off these leaders. If a lot of these leaders stay out, you'll see a lot of guys stay. But it wouldn't hurt just to come get fuel. If I was in this line, I would just come get fuel, because track position really is not that important here. You've seen how this works. Dale Earnhardt Jr. started 43rd, drove to the lead in 20-some odd laps. So it would probably be a good idea just to come on in here and get fuel. But some of these leaders, it's just hard to say what they're going to do here.
Yeah, and Bob Osborne thought that first time was going to be dangerous on pit road. Just come and get fuel and different things that these guys might do. It really gets wild then, doesn't it?
It's in and out, and everybody comes down pit road. 41 cars on the lead lap, but it's a quickie yellow. NASCAR says all of them can come on this lap.
They will be very crowded here as the guys on pit road. Kyle Busch's bunch, you see them all lined up. They pitted on lap 35 just 11 laps ago, so they won't need much fuel, but just a touch to top it off.
This is going to be interesting. We're going to see different strategies. I believe some guys might even opt to get right side tires. I don't know what kind of wear they might have seen here at the beginning of this race, but it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens. But this is going to get pretty exciting right now.
You can see some of these guys don't care about giving up track position. Bob Osborne actually stayed out on purpose to lose the track position. Jamie?
And Chip Bowen, crew chief for Matt Kenseth, said, I'm gun shy on the no tire thing. We're going to go with right sides only in fuel for Matt Kenseth.
On that last pit stop, Kyle Busch added a piece of tape to that front grille, running a little hot. They're going to pull it off in fuel, Dave.
Casey Mears gave up the lead. Sunoco fuel and gone.
Mike Ford urging his team to hustle. No tires, just Sunoco race fuel and a track bar adjustment on Denny Hamlin's car.
There's the race off of pit road. Elliott Sadler gains a spot. Travis Kvapil up 10 positions. Some of those took 2 right sides only. Got to believe 1 took fuel only. And Kevin Harvick stayed on the racetrack to get the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.